We dismiss history at our peril.
Liberty Nation Radio with Mark Angelides.
Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? That's the question that Ronald Reagan asked of voters in his one and only debate with Jimmy Carter. And that's a question that voters are going to be asking themselves this time around, 2024. Are they better off now under Joe Biden 4 years down the line, as it will be, than they were under Donald Trump? Now, we're very fortunate to have back with us Miss Lisa K. Donner, editor-in-chief of LibertyNation.com. Earlier in the show, we were talking about the debate, the fallout of the debate. But now I'd like to get into a little bit more fun stuff, Lisa, if we may. And you wrote a fantastic article recently on Liberties Lost. And it wasn't quite the Faustian epic that many of us might think by the title, but it was more, I guess it was an overview of basic liberties that affect everybody on a daily basis that have disappeared under the Biden administration. Lisa, what gave you the idea to kind of write this article?
Well, I started thinking about it. You know, there's two categories. There's the big liberty category and the little liberty category. Under the big liberty category, you have things like freedom of speech, freedom of religion.
You list the amendments on your fingers, right?
Right. Under the little category, right, you've got stuff like shower heads and gas stoves. But, you know, any way you look at it, big or small, there's still losses of liberty. And I think, you know, it's good to enumerate these and to really sit back and think about it for a while.
Now, before we get into what some of those things you covered were, I would like to just say how much I agree with you that you've got the big overarching things, the big liberties or rights, I guess, First Amendment, Second Amendment, that they're under threat. But then it's the smaller ones that nobody seems to put up a fight about because they're too busy fighting the free speech battles and the Second Amendment battles. And they don't realize that it's a death by 1,000 cuts of your everyday life. It's really quite shy. I mean, I'm from England, so I'm used to this on a daily basis. But to see the gradual encroachment of, let's call it what it is, bureaucratic tyranny encroaching on your life on a daily basis, it's just shocking to see it.
I call it regulatory tyranny.
There you go. That's an even better term. So what were some of the things that you chose for us, Lisa?
All right. Well, just to put them in order, I'll go with the big ones first. Obviously, you had parents that were being watched or labeled as
domestic terrorists.
Domestic terrorists, right.
Extremists, I think was the word used.
When they showed up at school board meetings and said, you know, we don't want our kids looking at this. We don't want our kids dealing with this. We don't want our kids influenced this way. And that's where the culture war kind of coincided with the liberty issue. Then you have the issue of January 6th, where you have catastrophic losses of liberty, the right to protest, the right to a speedy trial, the right to not be held without bail. These are all, you know, issues that have come to the forefront, no matter what side you're on.
Yeah, and then there's the question of why we seem to ignore these smaller things. Why do you think that is?
Well, under the category of the smaller things, we've got the shower heads. You have to have restrictors on them now. Donald Trump stopped that. You have Biden's people taking on gas stoves.
Yeah. The war on traditional family stoves.
Right. And back 7 or so years ago, when I first started Liberty Nation, there were quite a few people from the EU who were working for us. And I was shocked at their lighting issues because when you go on TV, light has temperatures and the temperatures mix together. What I'm saying is the color temperatures are different. And we used incandescent lights. Well, now incandescent lights are not okay in the US.
It's shocking, isn't it? I've actually been doing some research on this topic, and it's about there's a certain amount of lux, and I think lux is equivalent to lumens per square meter, if this makes any sense, but it's the quality of the light, what you get from the sun. And these new bulbs, I mean, I've had to live with it. I can't buy decent light bulbs anywhere. It's a poorer quality of life. But the idea of campaigning against that and leading a march against that and protesting about that. Hey, give us back some decent lights, right?
Right.
It almost, excuse the quasi pun, it almost pales in comparison to the big liberty issues that we're all concerned about. But it's gradually making one's life worse and worse, down to the very feeling you get sat in your own home.
Well, this regulatory tyranny really it hits all facets of life. I mean, look at the air conditioner units. So we found out recently when one of our air conditioner units broke that they can't fix it because they don't make the coolant that goes inside it anymore. It's illegal, whatever. So we had to get a new unit. You know, I think that there's so many of these things, and a lot of them have to do with climate change. I mean,
Right.
that's a big subliminal, messages that are going. You can't use this kind of water pressure. You can't use this kind of air conditioning unit. You can't use this kind of light bulb. And, by the way, we want your dryer to be this and your washer to be this and your dishwasher to be that. I mean, it's getting really.
Lisa, on that subject, I suspect that we would have a lot fewer issues if somebody were to nail down whoever is making these decisions within the agencies and say, if we follow your regulations, will it stop what you claim are the worst excesses of climate change? And they've got to answer yes or no. I've always felt this would be wonderful that you put somebody in an electric chair, and if they don't answer yes or no, you give them a short, nothing fatal, of course, just something a little bit painful, and they've got to answer yes or no, and that's all. Because it doesn't seem to me that while China's opening a new coal-fired power station every single week, I think is the latest number, that what kind of light bulb you have in your pantry is going to make a huge difference, is it?
Yeah, it makes you feel kind of like, what do you have control over? And why is the government trying to control everything? I mean, now out in California, they're testing new EV trucks, okay? The trucks that deliver, say, things from the port of, in California. So what they found was that a regular truck now, a gas truck, they have to stop, they have to refuel, it takes 15, 20 minutes. The EV trucks are going to take 4 to 6 hours. The gas trucks take you 1,000 miles or so. The EV trucks take you 250 miles until you have to charge up again.
And that's not even included. Yeah, that's not even including the refrigeration that you have to have for those extended wait overs of 4 to 6 hours while you're being charged.
Yeah, but what is this going to mean for the supply chain? I mean, we're having problems now with gas, and to mandate that we have trucks that are EV that go 250 miles and then need to stop for 4 to 6 hours. It just is crazy.
Well, that's just for us peons not to worry about. Lisa K. Donna, thank you ever so much.
Thanks, Mark.
We dismiss history at our peril. Liberty Nation Radio with Mark Angelides.
Don't get caught up in the media madness. Join our movement for free thinking and free speech at libertynation.com. Publishing news and analysis 24/7 with original articles by our team of authors who tell it like it is. Join us each week for online TV shows, The Uprising Podcast, and Liberty Nation Radio. We believe in free thinking and free speech. We are libertynation.com.